So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Barak Van Zykes, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord Van Zykes, that you heard the prosecution Sogi's opening precis? I did. It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this? Yes, my lord. And I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question. And what exactly took place. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth. I must say, Lord Van Zykes, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come. But since you became known as the Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. Your formal testimony then, witness. Alright, here we go then. Keep an eye out for anything that seems a bit strange. The facts of the incident. I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. Why were you investigating Gregson? That's what we need from that one, really, isn't it? Like, why? When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. Okay, so you were in the room when the gunshot happened. Okay. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Huh. Strange. Because again, I don't believe he did it, but how does that all play out? That testimony was the whole truth? It was. So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right, you haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Asogi. It would appear to be a singular tale indeed. Singular isn't the word. It's laughable. I'm with him on that. It's laughable, but, you know, what's got into Casimir? He's not behaving like himself at all. Very well, then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Cross-examination. The facts of the incident. Right, so I'm thinking pretty much press on everything until we get something, because there's a lot going on here that's just very odd. Very, very odd. Like, we need more details as to, like, what the hell is going on. Hold it! You were investigating the inspector. What on earth for? I'm not at liberty to say. Sorry? I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. Is the court to understand, then, that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene? No. I was privy to his movements in advance. How? I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. The address of Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office? In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense. As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord Van Zykes? I was aware of the possible consequences. So, in summary, You're investigating the victim, and yet you refuse to tell the court why. I didn't realize British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Why did I ever think I could defend this man? Oh dear. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one.
Hold it!
Had you ever been to the address before? No, never. I only learned of the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered. So it was all but impossible to make out anything. That could be a clue. Thinking the candles, because they apparently carried on burning. But if there was no light, the candles weren't lit. But at 5 PM, the sun would only just have gone down. It would have still been reasonably light outside. Yeah, it depends on the weather. The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside. I wouldn't have noticed it if the victim was already lying on the floor. There was no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that the part of the room where the body was found was very dark. Yeah, so what's going on with the candles? I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. There is a small desk in the room just here. Yes, I remember. And there was an oil lamp on it, as well as the frame photograph. When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started towards the desk to investigate. And what did you find? Nothing. I never actually reached the desk. Alright, a moment later I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Based on everything in the room so far, I'd say if anyone else was going to be in this room, they're either in the chimney or behind the notice board. That's what I'm getting from that. Under the desk, maybe? Like firing in that direction? Although it was point blank, wasn't it? So it's like, Maybe 2 gunshots? We shall see. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor.
Hold it!
So, who fired the gun? I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room. But you say it was very dark in there. Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence. Then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room? Point blank, point blank. No, that's out of the question. Oh. Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. Ugh, this is going from bad to worse. And you say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor? Correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part. Presumably then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands. In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not. What? The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder. But then, where on earth is the gun that was fired? Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I too would dearly like to know that. Yeah, I'm going with 2 guns. It's just, it made sense, and that just backs up my thoughts there already. So just as I picked up the firearm to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream.
Hold it!
Hold it! A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume. A man is very clear. Like, a man? That's right. One of the street merchants working on Fresno Street. Who are these merchants? A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. And they've all given statements saying they heard the gunshot. Without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. Yes, Gina told us about that yesterday, didn't she? They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. They did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process. But you're supposed to be the Reaper. The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion and was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me.
Hold it!
Appeared? What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear? I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point, and then suddenly there it was. Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came inside first, nothing more. I see. Maybe attached to the door? After the man fled, I examined the body. Although why wouldn't it fall down when Van Zykes went in? I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. Most curious circumstances indeed. How the inspector was killed, or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea.
Objection!
Oh my. Surely the court has heard enough. My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused, Barak Van Zykes, is lying on multiple fronts. Oh, this music. What is that supposed to mean? Good gracious, counsel. The defense is lying, you say? In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. That's correct. No, that's impossible. As proven by this candle balloon. How does that prove anything? If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact. A Genshin Sogi. A Genshin impact. No, an impact. Oh, I'm liking this music, like the twist. It's very interesting on his theme. Ooh, it's very nice. One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle. The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly of a different length. Yes, I can see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long. We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together. Which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah. That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles would still have been burning. So the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. The candelabrum, by the way, is a joke that goes back to Nocturne on the channel. For those who are like, why are you saying it wrong? It goes way back. It's like diet and diet. It goes back to that. And the accused claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts those facts, unless Maybe this, because it looks like based on this it has wheels. Maybe this was placed here and was swung round very quickly. So it's like it would have been dark over here regardless. You wouldn't have seen a body until the notice board was swung round and put here at the same time as someone was apparently coming through the door. Maybe. That's all I've got so far. And now to the next lie. There's another? There's more? The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board. Nope, it's not on wheels. Okay. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. Yes, that's right. We saw it too. It goes without saying, the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they include a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? This is starting to sound familiar. And there is a common thread linking all of the documents on this board. Indeed? What is the common thread, Counsel? They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Barak van Zykes. All of them? And furthermore, all those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted. Good Lord! Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Ah. Oh no. In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout and his base of operations. The Reaper's hideout? And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout? No one would believe that. No, the truth is we've been looking at this backwards. Backwards? Explain, Counsel. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. What? What? Oh my, is he dead? Ooda, ooda, ooda. Very well. I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Barak van Zykes is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with Prosecutor Sogi's contention that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts. All I have done is state the truth as I know it. Chasm has done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable. Counsel, you will submit the board that you just showed to the court as evidence? I believe it to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence. Thank you, my lord. The notice board has been entered into the court record. And now the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question. They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room. Very well, lead the witnesses in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand. Certainly, my lord. Well, that didn't go well, did it? Oh dear, oh dear. Hello? 100 quid? You're familiar. So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Well, first off, I want to look at this notice board. Thank you very much. What we got on the back? Ah, So maybe it was on the floor. Yeah, this handprint's going to be something, isn't it? Oh, what's this? Mr. Narahodo, look! Oh yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint. And the colour. That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. The details of the notice board have been updated in the court record. Okay, so we got anything else on the front, maybe? There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there? This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age, look. Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here. Oh, it's the same Red-Headed League advertisement that Mr. Shlomes had picked out. And do you remember? There was a red hairpiece at the scene too. Was Inspector Gregson an exponent of the Red-Headed League then? See, the red-headed things, like, no one's brought that up yet. It's gotta be significant. Otherwise, why would that even be a thing? So, witnesses. Names, we don't use names. Far too fancy for the likes of us. We're just free and easy. Sell what we like, live where we want to live. Give them all a vacant stare as they walk down Fresno. Spin a few words into a verse for them. Aha. Would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Everyone calls me gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passers-by, you know. Jaunty little tidbits. Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your ginnel it is. 6p is the price and not a penny less. Wait. You're actually trying to sell it to me now? Oh, come on, sir, don't tell me you're not interested. Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is. Pay the man, counsel. Alright, alright. 6p it is. You won't regret it, sir. Now, got your listening ears on? Just between us, a young couple on Slight Street have just had twins. Is that it? No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? It wants to spread, but that bit's up to you and your mouth, of course. I've got more, you know. Want another juicy one? 6p a piece it is, if you're curious. I am curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely, that unusual bruise or whatever it is that's poking out from under your collar. What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by and what do you sell? Me? I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, innit? What is that, firecrackers? Sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. 6p a pop? What do you say? So that's where the gunshot sound came from. And also the smell of gunpowder. It's gonna be them in some regard, isn't it? That's what's going on there. That's what's going on. You weren't exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell? Oh yeah. The second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school. Not the most savory of ideas, young lady. What do you say then, eh? I'm gonna part with 6p for a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom. Try the woman. Give her the money and see if she's right. Pay the woman, counsel. Alright, I'll buy one. Lovely stuff. Right then. This is something a bit extra just for you. Biggin. The Venus Special. Only 600 pence. 600? It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing a little about it, is there? And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. Venus firecracker has been entered into the court record. It is definitely relevant. Like, what sort of bang could it make? The sound of a gunshot? Like the fire is shooting at us kind of sound, you know? Like, look at it. Look at it. Right, what we got? Have you had an idea, Mr. Naruhodo? You're staring at the end of the string of the fireworks. Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Shall we find out? What? She said it could blow up the courtroom. Alright, that was a fairly sizable bang. My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruhodo. Sounded almost exactly like a gunshot. The details of the Venus firecracker have been updated in the court record. Yep, sounds like a gunshot. It said so. Right, okay. So we're on the right track there. And the last witness. What name do you go by and what do you sell? Think me. Think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I think. Because I stand there on the street, watching the world go by about me. They call me the Observator. Okay. Yeah, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it. So, you don't actually sell anything. Problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and I think what it means. Hot what? I don't actually sell anything, no, come to think of it. Pity. No more purchases today, please. Well, we have quite a cast, yeah, it seems. Yep, Ace Attorney, alright. They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene. I see. And thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose? Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witnessed the crime. Well, I'll be beggared, I thought. Just between us. Venus de Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw. What I think is, if all what we see is light and shadow, playing with our eyes, is any of it real? Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident. Alright. What we got then? The witness's account. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building. Okay, not much to go on there. It was less than... Alright. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang. So I might throw the evidence of the firework at her there. Seems to me that the quick talk is quick to walk. Because it couldn't wait to go and see what had happened. I ran into the room and there he was, the Reaper. Gun in hand, standing over the dead body. Oh, well, that we need to definitely go on that. Because it's like, he didn't have... No, he did have the gun in his hand, didn't he? Huh. I was going to say it was on the floor, but like, no, he picked it up, didn't he? I was scared off to death, me. So I ran off to find a copper. Get a Rosa. If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Barak Van Zykes. I've seen pictures of the Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us, folk love stories like this. I've made myself a tidy sum already. Have you now? But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. Oh, how convenient. Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Huboon. The testimony the court has just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime. No. Thank you for your candor, my lord. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this, without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow.